Welcome to part 2 of our gradient stroke exercise. We're going to be animating this stroke. Be sure to watch part 1 so you know exactly where we are. Let's get going. So here we have our artwork from last time. Our 1, 2, 3 paths with the gradients applied. And what I'm going to do is just right click on the SVG code, select copy outer SVG, and now let's animate the paths in Codepen. So over in Codepen, I have this wrapper div here, and I'm just going to paste in the SVG code. And now you'll see it renders below in the preview panel. I already have JavaScript written to create a GSAP timeline, and GSDevTools is wired up to that timeline. It's important to note that I am loading GSAP, DrawSVG, and GSDevTools. So now focusing on the JavaScript, what I want to do is animate each one of these 3 path segments. So I'm going to add this from tween to the timeline, where the target is going to be every path, and we're just going to animate from a DrawSVG value of 0. And in simple terms, that just means each line segment is going to draw from, let's say, a 0 length. That was interesting. Using GSDevTools, what we can do is rewind back to the beginning, and you will see that each path is animating from a length of 0 at the same time. Well, that should be what we expect, because we are targeting every path and telling it to do the same thing. If we want them to happen one after each other, we would have to add a stagger. So the default duration of each animation is 0.5 seconds, so let's add a stagger of 0.5, which will make each path animate in direct sequence. Ooh, that's getting closer to what we want, but it looks a little bit kind of jumpy, all right? There's sort of this like pulsing, okay? We want it to be one smooth motion. Well, with GSAP animations, there's a default power 1 out ease, which means that each segment is going to sort of slow down at the end. To get rid of that, I'm going to set the ease here to be none. And now the next time we watch this animate, it's going to be much smoother, okay? There's no change in speed at all. They're all animating at a constant rate. Now to have this animation undraw, meaning that each segment is going to sort of erase itself to the right, I'm going to add another 2 tween after this, again targeting every path. And for the DrawSVG values, I'm going to set that to 100%, 100%, which puts the start of the segment and the end of the segment at the 100% position, which means there's nothing to see. If you're new to DrawSVG, definitely check out my starter lesson in SVG animation with GSAP. And again, we're going to do a stagger of 0.5, so they all happen in succession, and we'll again set the ease to none. So now you'll have each segment draw and undraw. We'll go back to the beginning, and you'll see that the first segment draws in, then the second one. It's totally smooth and seamless, but once we get to the end, what you're going to see is that the beginning of the first segment is going to move all the way to the 100% position, lining up with the end so that the stroke looks like it's erasing itself. And then all of the strokes are going to do the same thing. Now in this example here, it all happens very quickly. And if we want to have a little bit of a delay between the 2 animations, we would just add a position parameter to the second tween, and that's going to give us a 1 second delay so that we can kind of see, ooh, and there we have it. So even though we have a much simpler animation here, these are all the concepts that you can apply to create a more complex animation like the original hello animation that you see here. Now, in the next video, we're going to make our animation a little bit more interesting by adding this bounce effect to the end, all right? I'm going to show you a little advanced GSAP trick in order to accomplish that. See you in the next video.